Nordul Africii este o altă regiune de pe glob unde se acumulează de foarte multă vreme tensiuni din cauza problemelor nerezolvate între statele din regiune. La acestea se adaugă și presiunea evenimentelor din Orientul Mijlociu, dar și chestiunile interne, cum ar fi nerespectarea drepturilor omului sau terorismul, care găsește în continuare teren fertil acolo. Discutăm despre toate acestea într-un interviu la final de misiune diplomatică cu Salah El Sadek, ambasadorul Egiptului la București. Sunt Cristina Cileacu, începe Pașaport Diplomatic. Salah El Sadek, ambassador of Egypt, your mission in Romania is ending, unfortunately. So this is, again, unfortunately, your last interview to the Diplomatic Passport program. So welcome for the last time.
Thank you very much, Christine. It was a pleasure meeting you several times, and it is a pleasure now to meet you again to speak about concerns, Egypt, Romania, Middle East. It is always a great deal when we have this kind of interviews with you.
Thank you so much. Egypt was quite involved in solving the ceasefire in the recent conflict, 11-day war. It's already having a name between Hamas and Israel. Something changed during this 11 days war. This time Hamas kind of ended in a, let's say, more glorious way than usual. So how is Egypt seeing this new situation in the occupied territories and Gaza?
Well, Gaza is a direct neighbor to Egypt. We have a border. And to secure your national borders and your national securities, you have to have secure borders with all neighbors all over the four sides of the country. So this one concern. You named it what's known as the 11 days war. It was very much provocative for Palestinians and for the whole Arab world, to tell you the truth, and for the Muslim world, taking in consideration the timing, that it is repeatable. We can go back to 2014 and we'll see that there is lots of similarities. 2008, lots of similarities. It's the same scenario. We can't disclude that there is a very high political faction in it. Definitely Hamas liked to win votes by saying, I'm here, I'm defending the cause, I'm things like that. Definitely so politics was involved from both sides. But I see some light in that. One light is the Palestinian problem, which is the core of the Middle East Arab-Israeli conflict, came on surface again. It was overshadowed by what is happening in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya, somehow in Sudan before, in Lebanon, what's going on. It was overshadowed. And everyone says, oh, it's the Middle East, it's the Middle East. And so this coming up to surface again, floating to surface, proved that this is the core of everything. Secondly, it came in a time that the Middle East is seeing a shift, a great shift towards Israel, with many Arab countries stretching arms towards having normalization with Israel. So this is new thing.
Ambassador, we are watching now, for instance, Gabi Ashkenazi, the foreign minister of Israel, went to Cairo.
Yes.
Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, went to Cairo.
Yes. My minister went
Jibril Rajoub,
Samah Shukri went to Israel and went to Palestine, yeah.
As well, and the leader of, the head of your intelligence, the Egyptian intelligence, went both to West Bank and to Gaza. So what is following this ceasefire? What's the next step?
First is to fix it, because it is a fragile ceasefire. Definitely every side have demands. So they have, there must be a catalyst, there must be somebody who can take the demands from this side to that side and to present some guarantees somehow. So this is a role of Egypt. Secondly, I told you it's the direct border with Egypt. So let's say there was again another invasion to Gaza where the Gazan, which with this population, would go.
To Egypt, of course.
You see, so
but
this is very important.
There is also a different question, since we've noticed that Hamas had a huge power of fire this time. How is Hamas procuring its armament? Through where?
Definitely not from Egypt.
Not
Definitely,
from Egypt.
because at a certain time we thought.
Where? Not from who?
Yeah. I guess they have their means. They are advanced now regarding the little shore of Gaza. I heard, I don't have information, but I heard they even threatened to make some kind of attacks, kamikaze attacks to the Israeli interest in the sea, which is mostly the gas fields or something like that. And by the way, it was Western media that mentioned that. And this expedited a little bit the call of wisdom from Israel to listen and not to go to the extreme which they have. They have a superpower. So where they get this, definitely they have the means, they have supporters, they have financials.
How are those entering Gaza? Because if we look on the map, it's Israel and Egypt and nothing else.
It has been, there is the sea, that's one thing. Also,
but
don't
sea
forget,
is also controlled.
There was some certain time that they accumulated that for different reasons. Not only for Israel, for different reasons. So they accumulated armament.
So it's like something like a supply they had.
Yes. Third, again, I don't have fixed information. They started manufacturing. It's very simple besides. They have brains and they started manufacturing.
But for that you need also materials.
Yes.
To manufacture something you need material. And
it's not difficult. And believe me, lots of things comes from Israel. They have their means, they have contacts, they have their means, but not everything, but lots of things. There is the sea, but I think definitely Egypt will not allow it, that this will happen, for very many elements that Egypt is committed to it. So we're not, actually we suffered from the tunnels that was there.
If we look to Egypt, we see a tension between Egypt and Ethiopia when it comes to the dam that Ethiopia is building on the Blue Nile. And recently, to add even more tension to the present tension, Ethiopia announced that they want to build some military base in the Red Sea. What will be the consequences of all this in the region?
Ethiopia is an old sovereign country. They can build whatever they want, it is okay. I don't know how, since they are landlocked and they don't have a navy. So how they are going to build a naval, it will be, the ships of that will be docked where? It has to be a third country. They are landlocked. After the independence of Eritrea, they don't have access to the sea. Lately, I've seen a declaration, and it is confirmed through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that they are going to build another 100 dams on the 100. You didn't finish the first one. You found difficulty to complete it. You found difficulty to verify its technical validity and things like that. So another 100. So don't take the declarations that comes now from Ethiopia. It is under a great tension because again EU, United States have made lots of criticize of what happened in Tigray, and international help aid and Red Cross wanted to go there, and the EU wanted to go there, and they want guarantees and so on.
They were not allowed,
so they are shifting to other things. Egypt, Ethiopia, regarding the Nile, is not a new thing. It has been through decades and decades. And it was stopped in a certain way. In the recent tension has been more than 10 years. 10 years with self-constraint from Egypt and with a lot of flexibility to go into negotiations to reach some kind of agreement that would be suitable for everyone. We are not against development in Ethiopia. We reached under the sponsorship of the United States to the signing point when the Ethiopian delegation withdrew and left the country. And no one stopped at that. And it was with the involvement of the World Bank and the United States government. Lots of things. Of course, many people are pointing that this is going to take into war and things like that. War is not an amicable solution, not for anyone, definitely not in Egypt. And we are not to go to military decision.
If it's not to go to military decision, then why is Egypt building a sort of a ring around Ethiopia with making military partnership with
Sudan?
With Sudan, with Uganda, with Burundi, recently even with Kenya?
Definitely the matter is very serious regarding our water, because it's our life.
Absolutely.
So it is not that we are doing that to make war, because if we want to make war, we had 10 years to make it at any time. You see, no. It is a matter of national security, securing our rounds with allies and with treaties that Ethiopia tried to get out of it under the declaration that this is colonial treaties. By the way, when all the treaties were done, Ethiopia was not occupied or colonialized by anyone. Actually, which is very ironic, Bani Shanqul, which is where the Renaissance Dam is built, is a Sudanese land that was given upon colonial treaty to Ethiopia. So if you denounce all what you call colonial, which was not colonial, this means that this land is a Sudanese and they should take it back. So what you say about our movement, it's part of securing our national security. This national security is not border, because we don't have a common border with Ethiopia, but we have life that God had created and have given us through thousands of years, which is water. And even the sayings that say that it's a natural resource, it's like oil. We don't drink oil.
Ambassador, you still in Egypt have the Muslim Brotherhood still doing recruitments, so terrorism is still a problem for your country. Luckily, there weren't attacks recently, and they are developing new creative ways of doing recruiting, and of course they are switching now to online, and they are using one of the newest mobile app that applied. I'm talking about Clubhouse. How is still your government dealing with this situation, with all the situation in the area and this one internally?
Brotherhood is by law in Egypt a terrorist group, and it was declared to the whole world. So they don't have, when you say inside Egypt, if there is, they are working underground, because if anybody would be related to that, according to law, that was will be prosecuted by law. So we don't have what's called brotherhood.
That doesn't mean they are not there.
That's why I'm telling you, if there is some people who are
they didn't disappear by
have
the night.
Sympathy, or they have hidden their loyalty to brotherhood, and they must be hiding that very, very strongly, because it's by law, it's criminalized. That's one thing. Why did they? Because their factions and their leaders went out to many countries, to European countries, to Asian countries, to some Arab countries, and they are staying there, and they have very well treatment, that they have freedom, and they have money. They have sponsors. So to move, it's not the first time. But why now? They believed that the change of administration in the United States, because the former administration with Trump was quite strong on them. And they kept, when you have a mouse and you make a big noise, he went to his hole. So they kept in many holes or many places trying to avoid any persecution and international persecution. With the new administration, that they assume, because nothing official have been said with that this would return to the democratic support that they have in Obama's time. So they said, let's reactivate again. Technology does not forbid, there is no way to stop technology. So they choose, as you said, another forum to come in and to start saying things. But I have to tell you a very important thing. Egypt today is not Egypt 2011.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
People, we are very emotional people that were deceived, not being brotherhood, but were deceived by the brotherhood at a certain time. They are not anymore. They don't allow it. People, when they discovered a cell or people who are working for the brotherhood, they are the one to alert the security forces. They are trying not to totally end inside, outside. That's why they are working from outside, not inside Egypt. And my proof of that we have a wave of tourism that was sponsored by the brotherhood. It's not anymore. We are keeping on our track of development in all fields in Egypt, even development in our international relations, and this was one of the dividends of this development that helped us to cease fire in Gaza, that made Egypt, and Egypt not a very wealthy country, but commit itself with $500 million
to help Gaza, yeah.
for reconstruction of Gaza, for building a new
but
quartier in
not
Egypt.
Administrated by Hamas.
Well, we are dealing with the legal authority.
But you don't give them the money.
So is Japan, so is EU, so is things. We are dealing with the legal authority of Palestine, which is in Ramallah. Even the United States declared that. So we are with that. We are building a new city in the very populated, dense populated area of Gaza called Egypt, to substitute the destruction done by the Israelis for many buildings, excluding any of the scenarios.
How can we describe the movement of Egypt when it comes to human rights? Because it's a constant critic that is brought upon your president and authorities of Egypt when it comes to respect and protect the human rights. And recently, even Joe Biden, the American president, was criticized because he wants to lend Egypt some money, 1.3 billion, a white check, as the human rights organization declared.
We are used to such accusation all through different decades and different times, even in the time of Sadat, even in the time of Mubarak. So are used to that. Yes, we have some wrongs that we are making it not better, we are making it right. Very much. And by the law, by the Egyptian law that all the Egyptians, the 104 million, they trust. So, yes, we say that there is mistakes. But are these mistakes, we like it and we keep it? No, we are changing it.
As I said in the beginning of our interview, you are ending the mission in Romania. We didn't have time to talk about Romania since Middle East is taking
yes,
everything.
Which is, I think, one of the advantages that the Middle East came out. It should be one of Romania's priorities in the coming time. Not as a superpower, I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about Romania that have invested a lot in this area. I'm speaking about Romania, that the Romanian citizen could walk, I will not say he could have his car, and go in the Middle East, and he will be dealt with respect and safety. It's not available for anybody else. I'm speaking about Romania could have dividends, great dividends, economic dividends, more than competition in our land in the Middle East and in Africa, more than its natural surrounding now.
Let's have this conclusion as the end of our discussion. Thank you again for being present in the program and for being present in Romania.
Thank you for giving me this chance for last time. It means a lot to me, and I'm wishing you personally and your program all the best in the coming fresh ambassadors that will come in our place. I think you made a very good reputation that they will seek to meet your acquaintance and to be a part of your very well followed program on DG24.
Atât pentru astăzi, dar rămânem în continuare online pe pagina de Facebook a emisiunii și pe contul nostru de Twitter. Revenim cu subiecte noi din lumea diplomației și a politicii externe vinerea viitoare de la 11:30 și reluare sâmbătă de la 22:30. La revedere!